Hey friends, welcome to today's video. Today is going to be the greatest day of your life. You know, what a wonderful weekend. We had so much to be thankful for this Thanksgiving weekend. I did several videos this past week on being thankful and on gratitude. And you know, here's a funny thing about gratitude. Even if someone understands that being grateful brings more things to be thankful to into their life, sometimes they're resistant to it. You know, and I met a friend this weekend, and she has recently found herself in that position. And every morning, she would ask herself what she was grateful for, and her body would become tense and her mind would go blank. And she said, "Doug, I've been watching the videos on gratitude, but I'm having trouble manifesting gratitude in an appropriate way in my life." And I said, it's probably not as uncommon as you think, because even though she truly believes the more you focus on what is good in your life, the more good you will attract, but a part of her just did not want to go there. And this had gone on for weeks. So why was she resistant? You know, we did some soul searching, we had a conversation, and this is what we came up with. You know, it just appeared that her relationship was no longer serving her, an important relationship in her life. She was unhappy at work. She was struggling to get a business started that she was really excited about. And she stopped going out to dinner with her friends every other week. She just kept telling herself she was too busy. And for the most part, she had stopped doing everything that she loved, including painting and writing, which were her favorite creative outlets. And you know, even when she thought about her day-to-day life, she realized she was angry at every person, every car, every story she'd heard about on the news. From the time that we spoke, she just complained about her job, about how she nags at her husband, and she just made excuses about why she hadn't moved forward on the business idea that, honestly, in my opinion, is a fantastic idea, and she needs to get moving on it because it's action that we take towards our dreams and goals that actually builds that goal or dream into a reality. You know, and her resistance to gratitude reflected her feeling that she was not living up to her highest good. And she was so reluctant to allow herself to experience any happiness. So when we discussed this and brought all this to light, she started taking steps these past few days to allow her to live the life that was more authentic and joyful to her. You know, and I think maybe she needs to think about quitting that job that makes her unhappy, start her business, and start painting again. Do the things you love. You know, before long, she's going to find that she's able to embrace and express gratitude again. You know, and your life may not feel as dark as my friends, you know, but still, for whatever reason, you may find yourself resistant to gratitude from time to time. And don't beat yourself up about it, because you know what? It happens to the best of us. And the problem is, when you're resistant to gratitude, you resist good things coming into your life. And when you're happy and joyful, you're expansive, open, energized, and optimistic, which usually translates into trying new things, taking risks, and being adventurous. And you know, when you're unhappy and negative, like my friend was, the idea of taking risks and being adventurous can be daunting and make you feel vulnerable. And that's a big thing. You know, and you can feel safer to stay where you are instead of opening yourself up to new pain and the possibility of failure. You know, she wants to start this business. Nothing's a given. There are no guarantees. But as long as you have a goal, and if that goal is a business, and you begin walking down the path towards making that goal a reality, eventually you can do nothing more than accomplish that goal. You just got to stay positive. You know, and trying to ignore things you aren't happy about won't do you any good, because what you resist persists. And it's not going to go away. And in fact, it may get worse, because trying to not pay attention to it, you are actually feeding it. Because when you try not to pay attention to things, what are you thinking about all the time? The things you're trying to not pay attention to. It's just the way this supercomputer works, but we can work it out together. Here's the recommendations I gave to my friend. I recommended that instead of trying to ignore the things that were bothering her, give them attention in a constructive way. And we talked about taking a few steps that I'm going to discuss with you right now that has just over the last few days allowed her to get back in touch with her gratitude and appreciative self. And she's feeling positive. And I talked to her this morning. Things are going great. She's moving down the right path. And you know what? It's a fantastic and beautiful way to end this weekend of thankfulness and gratitude. So the first thing I recommended she do is acknowledge it. Acknowledge the areas in your life where you're not happy. It could be as simple as acknowledging things by saying them out loud. I am not happy about A. I am not happy about B. I am not happy about C, etc. But you need to verbally and outwardly acknowledge. You recognize what it is you're not happy about, and you're acknowledging these things are not making me happy, and they are not conducive towards me accomplishing the goals I want to accomplish because I want me to be the best me that I can be, right? And then the next recommendation I had for her, and she always does carry her little black notebook around with her, as I do, and I'm sure you probably do as well. And I said, get that notebook out, with a pen or a pencil, and sit down and start writing about whatever is disturbing your peace. Get it all out. All the worries, fears, grievances, petty complaints, everything until you completely run out of steam or your fingers are so damn cramped up from all the writing you've done that it's time to just give it peace. And don't judge it. I told her, I said, don't judge the things you've written down. There's magic in those words. There's magic in the written word. That's why they call it spelling. And I said, do not judge what you've written down. And instead of judging those items that you've just so passionately written out, honor your feelings and your current results. It is healthy self-expression to let your negative feelings go instead of repressing them. Applaud yourself for providing yourself with an outlet. Congratulate yourself. Give yourself a little pat on the back. You're taking the right steps and you're doing the right things. And then just let it go. When you're finished, do not read what you've written and resist any urge to think or talk about the topic further with anyone, including yourself. To go over it again would be to reinfect yourself with that damn negative energy. And be observant. Once you've taken the steps I've just recommended, sit back and watch what happens. You're going to feel stillness and openness, which usually means there's room for hope, positivity, wonder, joy, and being grateful. And here's one more thing that you can do to make yourself more open to gratitude. Sometimes all it takes to make you more grateful is to look at the situations in your life differently. Every day we experience blessings that are opportunities for feeling grateful. And however, sometimes we can turn them into burdens. We just turn these things into burdens in our mind, and we often lose perspective about what's important and precious in our lives, and we allow a veil of negativity to fall over our eyes. Children that are happy and healthy and want to talk to you is a tremendous blessing, not a burden. And having a spouse or someone in your life who wants to spend time with you is also a blessing. And, having the ability to get out, do things, move around, and take advantage of dreams, goals, and opportunities that you've come up with is additionally a blessing. And when you're willing to start looking at the people, places, things, and experiences in your life differently, so there too, you will begin to appreciate all that they bring to your life. Gratitude is the most positive emotion we have. And I'm going to recommend that you take the opportunity after you've worked out these things that are negative in your life and gotten them down on paper and pushed them aside and said, I don't have room for this in my life anymore. I'm going to start being positive. I'm going to start feeling gratitude again. You're going to find that it's a decision. It's a thought. They were all thoughts in your head. And it's this perspective that you take on each of those individual items, which makes them either good or bad. And now you have the ability to work through those items and create a clean slate in your mind. Create a place that can just be sort of a reservoir for positivity and all the beautiful things that you deserve to have in your life. It's been a wonderful, thankful weekend. I hope if you've been experiencing some trouble expressing gratitude or acknowledging the gratitude in your life, my recommendations will change that for you today like they did for my friend. And you know what? I care about you, and this has been such a beautiful weekend. I want to thank you for sharing this moment with me, and I'll be back tomorrow, and we're going to discuss some really great things that are going to make things not only better for you, but for me too. You know why? Because I care about helping you, and I think you're amazing. If anybody's worth it, you are. I'll be back tomorrow, friends. Have a beautiful day. Talk to you then.